This is definitely one of the most vicious anime in Japan. It is said that the average person cannot calmly watch it to the end. Japanese JK girl was injected with anesthetic by giant worms, but only to bring back to the nest for the larvae to enjoy. Just now, a civilian plane crashed in the middle of a flight. The plane crashed on an unknown island. Fortunately, many people survived the crash. They even found an unmanned vending machine on the island. This means that this is not an uninhabited island, but an island that was obviously inhabited by humans. But Matsumi always felt something strange. The whole island was deadly silent. It was surrounded by trees, but there were no birds and insects, and not a single living person other than them could be found. The crowd had no clue about what was happening, but soon they realized from the sudden crisis how dangerous the island really was. A young girl runs into the bushes to take a leak. As a result, an indescribably huge butterfly appeared in front of her, only to see its tentacles slowly reach out to the girl. Then the girl's body quickly dried up at a speed visible to the naked eye. The butterfly sucked up all the nutrients in her body. Someone tried to help, but the result was that the giant butterfly attacked and killed her. Matsumi immediately recognized the giant butterfly as a green-banded kingfisher, but she had never seen such a huge butterfly before. Someone tried to attack with a dagger, but after the butterfly grew bigger, its defensive capabilities became significantly stronger. Seeing that someone is going to die because of this monster again, Matsumi quickly recovered from the shock. Matsumi took out hairspray and a lighter to create a fire that killed the butterfly. Insects have a natural fear of fire. Even after getting bigger, they obviously haven't gotten rid of this weakness. But the trouble now is that perhaps not only one insect, the kingfisher, has mutated. There are often thousands of known and unknown insect species hiding in the thick forests. If all these insects are mutated and become huge, then this island will be an insect slaughterhouse. It is basically impossible for humans to survive here. But after surviving a plane crash, no one wants to sit around and wait for death. Matsumi believes that there will be a rescue team coming after the crash. If they can hold on, when the rescue team came, they would be safe. But as the group was discussing the situation, someone heard the roar of a helicopter. The excited people immediately rushed towards the sound, but what was waiting for them was not a helicopter rescue, but another insect sand mud wasp attack. The sound of its wings vibrating at high speed was just like a helicopter. In order to protect Matsumi, Chitose was caught by the sand mud wasp and carried away. Atsushi even stepped forward and said he would be the leader of the team. He uses his powerful physique to force everyone to stay in place. Only then might they be able to safely wait for the rescue team to rescue them. Atsushi said that as the leader, he would not allow everyone to be in danger. So he asked Matsumi and the others not to rescue Chitose either. He needs Matsumi, an insect lover, to provide useful information to protect his own safety. And Chitose was caught by the giant insect and there is no possibility of survival. However, Matsumi said that the habit of sand mud wasp is not to kill their prey immediately. They will inject the prey with an anesthetic and take them back to the nest to lay their eggs. When the larvae hatch, they can be enjoyed directly, but that's not enough to make Atsushi willing to risk his life. Matsumi says everyone's cell phones were flooded with water in the crash and were unusable. Chitose's phone was the only one that was waterproof. Although there is no signal on the island to call for help, the GPS function should still work. This can confirm their location. To some extent, the terrain can be used to infer the habitat of the bugs. This will enable them to identify the type of bugs to prevent sneak attacks. The probability of surviving will be greatly increased. Instead of waiting in the unknown to make a living, it's better to take a risk in exchange for peace of mind. Atsushi decided to take a risk after thinking about it for a while. Matsumi said that the sand mud wasp would not return to the nest for a short time after laying eggs. Therefore, their rescue operation would be easier. Following the flight path of the sand mud wasp, they found the nest. The whole house had become the home of the sand mud wasp. The crowd carefully pushed open the door of the house. The stench was overwhelming. The crowd endured their disgust and walked in. Exactly as Matsumi said, there was not a single sand mud wasp guarding the whole nest, but they heard a strange sound. After following the direction of the sound, they realized they were not the only survivors of the crash. Someone had already been brought here by the sand mud wasp to provide nutrients for the larvae. The image was beyond the reach of normal people. The expressions of each prey did not look painful, but rather enjoyable. Matsumi says that the larvae provide the prey with euphoric secretions to forget pain and fear. The purpose is to keep the prey active and not dead. Sure enough, after Atsushi killed the larvae in a ruthless manner, the prey suddenly let out a sorrowful cry. With their last strength, they turned to Matsumi for help. However, there was no solution to this situation. Can only die slowly in infinite fear. The crowd was also frightened by this scene and fled from the house. Then Mutsumi planned to organize a team to continue the search. Someone had already found Chitosa's cell phone earlier. This also meant that they didn't have to risk breaking in. Even if Mutsumi wanted to rescue him alone, Atsushi would not allow it. But at that moment, a sand mud wasp appeared and was carrying prey. The group hid, planning to wait for a while before leaving. However, Atsushi found out that the prey was his good friend Hiroshi. Out of control, he grabbed an iron pipe and went straight into the nest to save his brother. I didn't expect Atsushi to have a conscience. Although Mutsumi is not happy with Atsushi, he can't just watch him die. So he arranged to pour a lot of soapy water outside the house. She used the aroma to attract all the sand mud wasp outside. She then sneaks into the house and finds Atsushi, who is about to be killed by the sand mud wasp. Mutsumi sprays hairspray on the sand mud wasp and rescues Atsushi. But Atsushi, who was in danger, was only thinking about his brother. So after finding his brother, he immediately fled the house. He didn't worry about Mutsumi, who saved his life, and did not consider Mutsumi a girl cannot hold Chitose. Even after escaping from the house, Atsushi planned to abandon Mutsumi and escape alone. The sand mud wasp outside were also attracted by the scent of the house at that time. Eventually they started to kill each other. This also gave Mutsumi a chance to escape, but Hiroshi and Chitosa's crisis is not over yet. They still had toxins in their bodies, so they needed a lot of saline to get rid of the toxins. Fortunately, a map sign next to them pointed out that there was a hospital not far away, so they decided to go to the hospital and try their luck. Although the journey was not far, every step on this mysterious island was fraught with endless danger. No one knows which will come first, tomorrow or the accident. And it wasn't long before the group wandered into a nest of ticks. The possibility of being devoured at any moment